GPU prices actually improved in March 2026 with some new game bundle deals from both AMD and NVIDIA. And with rumors pointing to delays or even cancellation of the RTX 50 Super Series, possibly delays with the RTX 60 series, this might be the best time to buy a GPU in 2026. Welcome back to PC Builder, I'm Jason. This is our best graphics card to buy in March 2026. We'll cover 2026 GPU prices, the latest GPU news on what's happening in the GPU market, and we'll give you our picks on the best budget graphics card, the best 1440p graphics card, and the best 4K graphics card in March 2026. If you like this video, please give it a like and of course subscribe for more cool PC content. Let's jump into it. This video is sponsored by Seasonic. For PC enthusiasts looking for ultimate performance, Seasonic's flagship Prime TX 1300 delivers. ATX 3.1 and PCIe 5.1 compatible with 1300 watts powering even the most insane PC builds. The Prime TX 1300 now comes with an updated 12-volt 2x6 cables for increased safety and reliability with RTX 50 series GPUs. And Seasonic's digital fan control means the PSU stays cool and quiet under load. If you are looking for no compromises performance in power, thermals, and noise, check out Seasonic Prime TX 1300 using the link in the video description. Let's start with the brand new game bundles from both AMD and NVIDIA. AMD is offering the standard version of the upcoming Crimson Desert game for free with the purchase of the RX 9070 and RX 9070 XT, or with any of the Ryzen 9000 series X3D CPUs and some gaming laptops with Ryzen mobile CPUs. Crimson Desert is an open-world action-adventure game from the same publisher that does the popular Black Desert game series, and there's a ton of online hype for this. The game costs $70 on Steam. It launches March 19th and the game bundle goes through April 25th of 2026. NVIDIA is now bundling Resident Evil Requiem with its desktop RTX 5070 and higher-end RTX 50 series GPUs, along with laptops using the same mobile GPUs. Resident Evil Requiem is the latest game in the storied Resident Evil franchise of first-person horror shooters. There's also a ton of hype for this game, which launched in late February and is selling right now for $70 on Steam. Now note, this one's set to expire on March 16th this month, so don't wait. As always, if you want the game bundles, just make sure they're in your cart at the time of checkout, as not all retailers offer them. Intel's continuing its bundle with Arc B-Series graphics cards, where you get to pick one of 4 games, either Battlefield 6, Civ 7, Dying Light the Beast, or Assassin's Creed Shadows, which it says is a $59 value. That promo ends on March 31st of this month. Alright, looking at the top 10 best-selling graphics cards on Amazon, which is actually the top 12 because I am removing the GPU Prices in positions 1 and 7. Now, top sellers here are mostly in the budget to mainstream, and yikes, that RTX 3050 6GB GPU for $230 at number 4? The RX 9060 XT 16GB is in spot number 2, behind of course the RTX 5060 8GB, and AMD dominates the higher end with 3 RX 9070 XTs, but NVIDIA also has 3 RTX 5070s. The mix in the top 10 is 40% AMD to 60% NVIDIA. Meanwhile, over at Newegg's top 10 best-selling GPUs, so a little bit more of a PC enthusiast audience, AMD is a bit more dominant here with 3 RX 9070 XTs, 3 RX 9060 XT 16GB GPUs. Meanwhile, NVIDIA has 2 RTX 5070s and RTX 5070 Ti's. Alright, let's jump into 2026 GPU prices taken at the beginning of March. Good news here, GPU prices are largely stable for the cards that most people care about, and with the new game bundles, several of the GPUs are actually much better value than they were last month, at least as long as those game bundles last. Let's start off with AMD Radeon GPU pricing first this month. Prices are pretty much unchanged for the 16GB models for the RX 9000 series. You can pick up several models of the RX 9070 XT 16GB for $729 with the game bundle right now, and there are a number of models well under $750, including that game bundle. For the RX 9070, while there was recently models as low as $589, those sold out in late February President's Day sale. They haven't come back into stock at that price, so I'm just going to go with the currently cheapest $619 one with the game bundle. And there are a number of other models available for just a bit more. Meanwhile, the RX 9060 XT 16GB situation largely unchanged in March 2026, with the cheapest model still right around $440. One interesting thing, the 8GB model of the RX 9060 XT seems to be going out of stock literally everywhere. Currently, there's only 7 models left in the US. We've heard that the 8GB version of the 9060 XT hasn't been selling well in the US, but the 16GB model is selling well. So maybe AMD's just decided to sunset the 8GB model, at least in the United States. If you're wondering about older RX 7000 and 6000 series cards, they're just largely gone from the new retail market, so I've taken them off the list. Moving over to NVIDIA GPU prices, prices are actually quite stable in the mid-range and the higher end after big price jumps last month. The RTX 5090 continues to have a couple of models sit around the $3,700 price point and just below it. And more than half of the available models in the US are now under $4,000. I'm not sure we want to celebrate it being just under double the MSRP, but I guess it's better than a price increase, and it does get the game bundle. Meanwhile, the RTX 5080 actually has one model in stock at $1,289, but it keeps going in and out of stock, and almost every other model is just under $1,400. So I've decided to keep the price at the higher mark, which more accurately reflects current pricing. But hey, it also came down $10, so win? The RTX 5070 Ti pricing holds at just under $1,000, with currently 4 models at that price. Though there are a couple of models that keep going in and out of stock at $899 and $949. Whenever they get stocked, they tend to sell it in a day or two, so I'm keeping the RTX 5070 Ti pricing where it is, but given the game bundle, at least the value gets better. Pricing doesn't get worse. For the RTX 5070, it maintains a $630-ish pricing and also picks up the game bundle, so that's an improvement. But NVIDIA seems to have given up on the mainstream GPUs like the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB, even the 8GB 5060 Ti, and the RTX 5060 saw more price increases, while the RTX 5050 jumps up to $259 for the cheapest one. Meanwhile, the RTX 3060 12GB essentially gone off the market, and the RTX 3050 8GB, it's similar. It's almost gone, and I'm gonna remove them from future updates. Sadly, on the Intel side, which had been the bright spot of the GPU market, we see some price increases. The Arc B580 12GB, it holds firm at $289, but the Arc B570 10GB jumps up to $249. Largely owing to Sparkle seeming to no longer supply their Arc B series GPUs. Could just be a temporary stock issue, so we'll have to wait and see. But you still get the game bundle, which does help the value. Meanwhile, the Arc A series GPUs are about $10 more expensive. GPU news for March 2026, and buckle up if you were still waiting for the RTX 50 Super Series GPUs, even the RTX 60 series. A publication called The Information shared some new rumors that reiterated an indefinite delay for the RTX 5070 Super, 5070 Ti Super, and RTX 5080 Super, which other rumors pointed to as being delayed at least until the third quarter of 2026, but possibly being canceled outright due to NVIDIA switching virtually everything to AI GPU production amid tight memory and fabrication constraints. The new rumors include pushing the RTX 60 series back into 2028 from mid-2027 due to the same issues. That would mean that AMD's RDNA 5-based GPUs rumored for a mid-2027 launch might actually come first, something we have not seen in a very long time, as AMD's always allowed NVIDIA to set the market for many previous generations before launching their own GPUs. While it's hard to say how reliable these rumors are, I don't think you need to be like an NVIDIA insider to think that they seem quite valid given the current market conditions. The other major GPU news is that Intel is now rolling out its XeSS 3 to all of its previous generation GPUs, including the Arc B and A series. This is mostly frame generation and multi-frame generation, but early testing is showing similar performance to the RTX 5060. And Intel's XeLL latency reducer is reportedly working very well, actually reducing latency on the Arc A770 with frame generation below the native latency in Cyberpunk 2077. Anyone with an Intel GPU can download the drivers and use them themselves right now. Let's jump into our best GPU 2026 recommendations for March at every budget level. Remember to check the links in the video description for current pricing and availability in your region. We will of course be looking for the best GPU deals that we can find in March 2026, and we will also link them down there, so check those out. Starting with the best graphics card under $200, but given the price increases, I'm gonna push this to $249 to more closely align with actual reality. I'll put up our GPU data for FPS comparison as well as current pricing. This price point is all about getting the best cheap GPU in 2026 with the fewest drawbacks. If you can pick up the Arc B570 10GB with the Intel game bundle, just seems like the obvious choice here. As long as you have a halfway decent CPU, even a Ryzen 5500 or i5 12400 CPU, it's about the minimum. You'd get good frame rates at 1440p and 1080p. Well, with weaker CPUs, you might bump into a higher CPU overhead, For most titles, you're going to be just fine. And with Intel's XeSS 3, the cheapest decent graphics card right now is the Arc B570 10GB. What else are you going to get on the new market? An RTX 3050 8GB? If you are stuck around $200, the good news is that either the Arc A580 or A750 can use XeSS 3, and Intel seems to be really focusing on support. So I'm feeling good about these GPUs in the ultra budget range. Next up is the best graphics card under $300 in February 2026, which just keeps getting shorter and shorter every month as the 9060 XT. It's now well into the next category, as is the 5060. We're going to add in the RTX 5050 8GB at $269, but with many models approaching $300. And we also add in the Arc B580 12GB for $289, potentially with the Intel game bundle and with access now to XeSS 3. Unless you're allergic to FPS, I'm gonna go with the Arc B580 12GB and the game bundle all the way. With that kind of value, it really is the best cheap 1440p GPU in 2026. 12GB of VRAM, better FPS performance, good upscaler, and Intel seems to actually care about consumers again instead of just AI. Meanwhile, NVIDIA forgets gamers even exist. So if you are stuck for cash, the Arc B570 10GB, it seems like a decent compromise. All right, now let's look at the best graphics card under $400, and we add in a bunch of 8GB graphics cards that nobody should really be buying at these prices. The RX 9060 XT 8GB, RTX 5060 8GB, and the really disappearing RTX 5060 Ti 8GB. I don't know what you get for the extra money here. I just don't. And I can't really recommend any of them. If you want to spend more than the Arc B580 12GB, roughly $300, in my opinion, find some extra cash, jump up to the next category. Otherwise, take the very capable Arc B580 for about $300 instead. Moving up to the best graphics card under $500. And if you want good frame rates at 1440p gaming across a wide range of titles, this is your price point. We add in what I think is the best budget 1440p GPU in 2026 in the RX 9060 XT 16GB at $440. Fortunately, AMD did not extend the Crimson Desert game bundle of this GPU, which seems like a massive mistake. If you were going to buy the game anyway, maybe consider jumping up to the RX 9070 16GB in the next tier. But even without the game, I will take FSR 4 upscaling and 16GB of VRAM for the long haul, along with a pretty decent performer. Jumping up to the best graphics card under $600. Just to make this more concise, we're going to add in the best under $630. So the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB, RTX 5070 12GB, and RX 9070 16GB. Now both the 5070 and 9070 get a game bundle, as long as you grab the 5070 by the March 16th purchase deadline. Basically, if you value the Crimson Desert game bundle, the 9070 is the same price as the 5060 Ti 16GB, which is totally bonkers. Hands down, I'm going 9070 here. No amount of DLSS is going to save the 5060 Ti against a much faster 9070. It's got 16GB of VRAM, giving it the edge over the 5070 12GB. But if you're a huge Resident Evil fan and you can grab that game bundle in time and you don't care about the Crimson Desert game bundle, that's an argument for the 5070. Jumping up to the best graphics card under $1,000. So we're going to add in the RX 9070 XT 16GB at $730 and the insanely priced RTX 5070 Ti at $1,000. But they do both get game bundles. Remember, NVIDIA's expires on March 16th. If you want the best 1440p GPU in 2026, honestly, either one of these is the pick. Personally, there's no way I'm going to spend an extra $270 for an RTX 5070 Ti over the 9070 XT. I mean, that's your extra RAM cost right there if you're building a new system. Both have similar native performance. DLSS 4.5 is slightly better than FSR 4, but FSR 4 is slightly faster. Honestly, I hardly think gamers could tell the difference between the two GPUs in a blind test. So to me, RX 9070 XT is the hands down winner. Looking at the best GPU for any price in March 2026, we've got the $1,400-ish RTX 5080 and the possibly stable at $3,700 RTX 5090. I know people are buying these GPUs. We see them on the best sellers list, but seriously, like, who are you folks? Like, let me know down in the comments if you recently bought one, whether it was for gaming or for professional use, and what kind of pushed you to buy it. If you've got the money and you want more FPS, these are your choices. Double the price of the 9070 XT for 15% more FPS, or plunk down the cost of a high-end RTX 5080 pre-built PC for the 5090. If you've got the money and you want the performance, then these are your options, but I think for most budget-conscious gamers, the 5070 Ti or 9070 XT, those are way more solid choices. All right, let's play everyone's favorite game. Should you buy now or should you wait? Well, last month I talked about when I thought pricing would start to improve. It's when the AI bubble starts bursting. And I put that around July of this year after mid-year earnings reports come out. I'm still firmly of that belief, But the question here is how much money you're really going to save by waiting until like October Prime Day or Black Friday. Prices could honestly get worse before they get better after all. So if you want a new GPU, especially the higher end models with the game bundles that are available right now, I would recommend you buy it right now. We clearly are not going to get new GPUs until probably mid-2027 at the earliest. So I'm not telling anyone to wait 2 years to save a little bit of money because that's just totally bonkers. The reality is that while prices have definitely gone up and it feels bad, the price to performance right now, it's still pretty good historically. It's mostly the folks who only will buy an NVIDIA GPU who are really feeling the pain. And looking at that Amazon best-selling GPU list, there's a sizable group of more casual gamers who do fall into that category. But for anyone who's more knowledgeable, I'd buy right now. All these graphics cards are linked down in the video description along with the best March 2026 GPU deals that we can find. And of course, we're going to keep updating that list as GPU deals drop. So check out those links for current pricing and availability in your region. Of course, check the pinned comment for any big changes like GPU launches, LOL, or additional game bundle changes. If you got value out of this video, then give it a like. Of course, subscribe for more cool PC content. Like, did you check out our best CPU and GPU combo in 2026 right here? Or our recent look at RAM prices in 2026 and some insane RAM combo deals that bring RAM prices back to pre-crisis levels. Check them out, and I'll catch you on the next one.